The sun had barely crept over the horizon in New York City when the cameras in Studio 7 ABC rolled live for Live with Kelly and Mark. The coffee was hot, the set was bright, and America was ready for another breezy morning of light banter, celebrity guests, and marital charm between hosts Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. Except this morning, things were different. Kelly, dressed in a crisp cerulean blouse and white slacks, wore a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Mark, his usual confident and cool self in a navy suit and open collar, looked slightly too relaxed. Something was off. "Good morning, everybody," Kelly said cheerfully, perhaps too cheerfully. "Welcome to Live. I'm Kelly Ripa, and this," she paused, turning to her co-host and husband of almost 3 decades, "is Mark Consuelos. My lovely, slightly opinionated husband." Mark chuckled, oblivious. "Good morning, babe. Slightly opinionated? That's rich coming from you." The audience laughed nervously. Was this playful sparring or something sharper? Kelly cocked an eyebrow. "Oh, you want to go there already? We're 2 minutes in." The producer behind the cameras shifted in his seat. Mark raised his hands in mock surrender. "I'm just saying, you called me out first." Kelly leaned forward, her tone still sweet but her eyes narrowing. No. Let's talk about who called who out. Because someone, I'm not naming names, decided to rewrite half the script for our opening segment last night without telling me. A ripple of tension coursed through the studio. Mark blinked. "Okay, I just thought it needed tightening up." Kelly tilted her head. Tightening up? It was about National Cheese Pizza Day. It wasn't Oppenheimer, Mark. The audience burst into laughter, sensing the spicy undercurrent, but still unsure if they were watching a bit or a battle. Mark smiled, but there was a glint in his eye. "You always say we should be spontaneous. I was trying to help the flow." Kelly crossed her legs. "Spontaneity doesn't mean rewriting my lines at midnight. That's not spontaneity, that's sabotage." "Oh!" The audience cooed, some clapping, others gasping. Mark turned to them. "She's dramatic. That's why I married her." Kelly shot back. "And he's reckless. That's why I never let him near the group text chain." The producer gave a subtle wave from behind the camera, signaling them to pivot, now. "Anyway," Kelly said brightly, switching gears like the professional she is, "we've got a great show. Later we'll be joined by the fabulous Viola Davis, who, unlike some people, reads her cue cards exactly as written." Mark chuckled, clearly trying to smooth things over. "I love you," he said quietly, under his breath, just loud enough for the mic to catch. Kelly smiled, this time, a bit more real, but didn't reply. The next segment went off relatively smoothly. A lifestyle expert showed off some back-to-school gadgets, and Kelly and Mark made awkward small talk about label makers and lunchboxes. The tension still lingered though, like an unspoken line between them, stretched taut. But it was the host chat, after commercial break, where the real fire flared again. "So," Kelly began, clasping her hands together, "let's talk about boundaries." Mark laughed, a little too hard. "Oh boy. No, really. Let's." "Because I think we need to remind the audience, and perhaps our fellow hosts, that even in marriage, there are boundaries. Like maybe don't rearrange your partner's monologue." Mark looked down at his coffee mug. "You're really not gonna let this go, are you?" "Not when I had to improvise a joke about mozzarella on the fly," Kelly exclaimed. "I said, 'Cheese me once, shame on you.'" "What does that even mean, Mark?" More laughter. The audience was eating it up. The tension was real, but it was also entertainment gold. "Look," Mark said, turning serious. "I thought I was helping. But I hear you. Next time, I'll run the edits by you." Kelly softened a little. "Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Because when we argue off camera, it's between us. But when we're on camera, we've got millions of people watching. And not all of them are rooting for us." Mark nodded. "Fair enough." Kelly added, "And also, mozzarella jokes need time to age. Like Parmesan." The audience exploded in laughter again, and the tension broke. Viola Davis came out a few minutes later, radiant and poised, immediately catching on to the vibe. "Did I just walk into a therapy session?" she asked, settling into her chair. "You have no idea," Kelly replied, laughing. The rest of the show was smoother, peppered with playful jabs but underlined with the unmistakable bond that had made Kelly and Mark morning TV darlings. They didn't pretend to be perfect, they never had. That was part of their charm. And yet, after the cameras went dark, a quiet moment lingered between them backstage. Kelly sipped her water. "You really didn't think it was a big deal?" Mark rubbed the back of his neck. "I just thought it would be funnier." Kelly looked at him. "Then next time, tell me. Let's write it together." He stepped closer. "You got it." A pause. Then Kelly added, "Also, don't ever touch my cue cards again." Mark grinned. "Yes, ma'am." They kissed. The tension dissipated. Just another day in the life of TV's most real couple. Because marriage, like live television, is unpredictable. But when you have mutual respect, a sense of humor, and just enough drama to keep things interesting, you're golden.